Hello, I'm Jesse Alexander, amateur radio call sign WB2IFS. I'm going to talk with you about using the SuperKnova Learning Management System in the ham radio project. Let's get started. Here's the agenda for the talk today. I'll cover the project, what it's at, where it's at, how we use the SuperKnova LMS, and lessons learned, and I'll entertain any questions you have at the end. All right, SuperKnova project is a 2-year project supported by a generous grant from the Amateur Radio Digital Communications Organization. The project engages BIPOC and LGBTQIA students and allies in learning about the electromagnetic spectrum through the excitement of amateur radio. Students received $100 a week stipends. There were 2 cohorts that received 40 weeks of training leading to amateur radio licensure. The first 20 weeks led to amateur radio technician's class license, and the second 20 weeks led to general class license upgrades. The class was blended. One part was instructor-led and included guest speakers, and the other part was asynchronous, self-directed learning using SuperKnova. There were weekly virtual sessions to include science, technology, professional development, license prep, hands-on labs, and cohort building. The NRAO was chosen for this project because of its mission statement and because of its mission. And you can read more about that mission at the indicated website in the QR code at the bottom of this slide. All right, where are we? We are now in the review phase, or you could call it the check phase in Agile development. And where we are reviewing the content in the system, in the learning management system, and also some of the content that was instructor led that was recorded, and determining how best to release the content to the world. All right. As I indicated, this curriculum was done using a agile development process in the planning phase. We created an initial plan based on the SOW with guidance from advisors, practicing instructors, LMS folks, and STEM research, STEM education research people. We use an agile approach as indicated, where use is evaluation. Excuse me. We built the content and delivered the curriculum to 2 cohorts as indicated, and leveraged the experience from other projects, and of course used and built in inclusive language, mental health, and bystander training into the curriculum. We're now in the check phase. We're updating and curating the content based on feedback from learners, advisors, practicing instructors, and the amateur radio community. And we're backfilling the prototype curriculum based on that feedback. We are getting ready for the ACT phase, where we are going to launch the reviewed prototype in the LMS and on the WordPress website. There are 2 aspects. This is the WordPress website, and this is the LMS. And that's going to be happening this summer. All right. How we use the LMS to develop learners' STEM identity. We're using the STEM identity model that I learned about at a STEM education conference. And it covers the 3 aspects of student STEM identity: the competence, performance, and recognition. All right. The LMS and the WordPress site were both used to help develop these 3 aspects. Not typically, the WordPress site had links to things such as the calendar, class calendar, and also talks and the form of a playlist. We also monitored, we also had students take exams, practice exams before they actually took the real exam. And again, that content was actually presented as assignments in the learning management system. And we tracked the students' performance, and they could most importantly, see their own performance and that kind of thing, and determine what aspects of the curriculum they needed help on or more work. And what better way to prove one's performance than to actually get a amateur radio license from the FCC? Uh, and that process was also tracked in the learning management system by assignments. And we also asked survey questions about students' experiences during the testing process. There were also, as indicated before, hands-on assignments where we asked students to produce videos that showing them engaged in various hands-on assignments and activities. And some of those activities included on-air amateur radio activities as well after they were licensed, after they received their license. We also gave awards, and recognition mostly through the WordPress site. And we actually have a wall of fame on the WordPress site where we show that information. One of the key aspects of amateur radio is engaging with amateur radio community in the form of clubs. And so we encourage students through assignments in the learning management system to engage in club and also to express their opinions and how they found interacting with the clubs and how useful that was. So that was all in the learning management system. Also in the learning management systems and some of the lessons, we included information about hidden figures in wireless technology and the electromagnetic spectrum. And we also included information about, we also included bystander and mental health first aid training in some of the lessons as well to help students deal with discrimination. Amateur radio is just like the real world. And so we helped them try to give them some lessons that were applicable to both ham radio and the real world. So what were the main lessons learned? What were the things that I liked, didn't like, and things that were on the wish list for this particular experience? Number one, like the overall look and feel of the updated version of the learning management system. We're running a version of Moodle, and the implementation is very clean and very useful. I thought it was great in that aspect. The survey management and test management, also very good, very excellent, like that, useful. I also like the fact that the system provided some single sourcing aspects, meaning make once and reuse in multiple forms. So it is possible in the system to actually produce PDFs of lessons and also HTML, just static HTML sites. And that's useful I found useful for reporting to the funders midstream who they just wanted a snapshot. And so we were able to make those kinds of snapshots and send that to them. The last aspect I thought was really cool was the ability to clone assignments and other aspects of from one course or one lesson to another. That's great. Things I had a little trouble with, I didn't quite like. The information architecture in this system, in our implementation, uses courses, and that was a little difficult for me to deal with. And some of the students had issues as well in terms of managing calendar. We had to use an external calendar because the calendars were only good for one course. And so there were multiple courses in this class, and that was a little confusing. And like I said, we just could not have within the tool, a calendar that served all of the courses all at once. We were not able to do that. The other part that I didn't like, that kind of is kind of a little more of a preference issue, was I would have liked to see for attendance options, we were able to track attendance of the in-person aspects of the class. I would have liked to have a late option versus partially attendant. That would, I think, would have been useful, because the way we paid stipends is we had certain attendance requirements. And so it would have been easier to handle those with a late option. Now, the wish list, calendar, number one. I want a calendar that works across the whole project. Number two, scripting. I want scripting support in WordPress. I understand security issues uh, with that kind of thing, but it really would have been great if I could run some of the uh, amateur radio script applications or script-based applications within the WordPress site. And similarly, for the LMS portion of the system, I really would have liked to see the ability to expand URLs, meaning to show the first picture and or description of each URL. That would have been useful inside the LMS, and I didn't see a way of doing that except cutting and pasting, copying and pasting. The other aspect I would love to see is reporting across the whole program. If you're going to use this kind of architecture, then I need to be able to see reporting not just on each single course, but on the whole course. I need to be able to see attendance across the whole program. And in this particular case, we had to substitute an external spreadsheet to manage that kind of stuff. And also tighter integration with Zoom. That would have been helpful. I'm particularly interested in Zoom's attendance reporting. It would have been great. This is really a unicorn desire. It really would have been great to have the two work together so that I could port, for example, attendance information from Zoom into the LMS. And that, I think, would have been great. All right, that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions. What questions do you have? This is how you can contact me, and this is where you can get more information about the project. I really thank you all for listening. I'm glad that you have paid attention, and I hope the information was helpful. We've had lots of great support from people, both internal and external to NRAO. The ham radio community has been outstanding in supporting this project. And thank you. Just thanks for listening.